Now what we can do is think about how to extend the pattern that we saw in that first part for more than two categories at once, where this brings us to our big idea for the section, which is called the fundamental counting principle, where what the fundamental counting principle basically says is the total number of ways we can arrange some number of things, the total number of ways we can make selections for some number of things, is the options for the first, for the second, for the third, and so on. More exactingly, we could say that the number of ways in which a series of successive things can occur is found by multiplying the number of ways that each thing can occur successively, found by the descending product. So if we thought about our clothes options from earlier, if we took all of those options we had before and then also had two pairs of shoes that we could select from, then in order to get our total number, we could think in terms of a tree diagram like before, where we're now including an extra step at the very bottom, or we could just use the fundamental counting principle, which would say that the total number we're looking for would end up being 2 times 3 times 2 for the shoes, for a total of 12. So with this, let's try our hand at a pretty basic example, and then we'll look at one more. So let's say that next semester you're working on your schedule and you need to pick sections of Comp 2, Gen Chem 1, and Stats. Checking the course offerings, you see 9 sections of Comp 2, 3 of Gen Chem, and 7 sections of Stats that you can make fit your schedule. How many total options will you have? So in this case, all we need to do is think about how we could break this up for the fundamental counting principle to properly apply. So we would have 9, make that 9 a little bit bigger, for our comp sections, times 3 for our 3 sections of Gen Chem, and then finally we have 7 stats sections to consider, where it's important to bear in mind here, we're counting all possibilities, but realistically, as your schedule starts to take shape, some of these wouldn't really be valid, and probably some of them will overlap in such a way that you really can't do them all at the same time. But we're counting all options without real consideration here. We're just saying what could possibly happen, not what should happen or what can reasonably happen. Long and short of it is, when we take all this, we multiply them together, and we will get a total of 189 potential course offerings for the next semester, at least for these 3 in particular. Can't speak to the other classes you may want to take.